Welcome back to the Stratified YouTube channel, where we simplify research for beginners. In our last video, we learned what sampling is. Today, let's take it one step further and talk about the two major types of sampling that every researcher should know: probability sampling and non-probability sampling. First up, probability sampling. This is when every single member of the population has a known and equal chance of being selected. Think of it like drawing names from a hat. Everyone's name has an equal chance of being picked, and that's exactly how it works with probability sampling. Each member of the population has a fair shot at being included in your sample. Here are the common methods under probability sampling. Simple random sampling, also known as lottery sampling, is when every member of the population has an equal chance of being selected. For example, if you are a student at a university and you want to survey other students about their satisfaction with the dining options, you could put all the student IDs into a hat and draw out a certain number of them. The IDs you draw will be the students in your sample. Stratified sampling is when you divide your population into subgroups or strata based on shared characteristics and then randomly select participants from each stratum. For example, if you are doing research on student satisfaction with the dining options and you want to ensure that you get an equal representation of students from each year level, you could stratify your population by year level and then use simple random sampling to select students from each stratum. Cluster sampling is when you divide your population into clusters or groups and then randomly select some of those clusters to include in your sample. All members of the selected clusters will be included in your sample. For example, if you are researching student satisfaction with dining options and you want to survey students from different halls of residence, you could use cluster sampling. You would divide your student population into different halls of residence, randomly select some of those halls to be in your sample, and then include all the students from those halls in your study. Systematic sampling is when you select every nth member of the population to be in your sample. For example, if you want to survey students about their satisfaction with the dining options and you have a large student population, you could use systematic sampling. You might decide to select every 10th student on the student registry to be in your sample. Probability sampling is a powerful tool for researchers because it allows you to make inferences about the whole population based on your sample. It's also a great way to reduce bias and increase the generalizability of your results. However, probability sampling can be time-consuming and expensive, especially if your population is large or hard to reach. Now, let's move on to non-probability sampling. As the name suggests, this type of sampling does not involve random selection. Instead, researchers use non-random methods to select participants for the sample. The selection of participants is often based on convenience, judgment, or referrals. Common methods include convenience sampling, where you select participants who are readily available. For example, if you are researching student satisfaction with dining options and you ask only the students in your class to participate in your survey, you're using convenience sampling. Purposive sampling is when you handpick participants based on specific criteria. For example, if you're studying stress levels among university students, you might purposefully select students from different clubs or organizations to get a sense of how stress levels vary across different groups. Snowball sampling is when you ask existing participants to refer you to other potential participants. This is often used when the research topic is sensitive or participants are hard to reach. For example, if you're researching the experiences of refugees in your country, you might start with a small group of refugees and ask them to help you find other refugees to participate in your study. Quota sampling is when you select participants based on certain quotas or targets. For example, if you are researching voting behavior and you want to ensure that you have an equal number of men and women in your sample, you could use quota sampling to recruit participants. Non-probability sampling is often used when researchers have limited time, budget, or resources. It is also a useful technique when the goal of the study is to explore a topic in depth or to gain insights from a specific group rather than generalizing to the whole population. However, since non-probability sampling does not involve random selection, it is harder to generalize the findings to the broader population. So which type of sampling should you use? The answer depends on your research goals, resources, and the nature of your population. If you want to make inferences about the whole population and have the resources for a randomized study, then probability sampling may be the best option. If your goal is to explore a topic in depth, or if you have time and resource constraints, then non-probability sampling may be the better choice. If you found this helpful, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more educative content like this. See you next time.